So today we're going to talk about road trip ideas for littles. So giving you guys hopefully some tips, tricks, hacks for making those road trips smoother. Road trips are really all about the experience of going on vacation and going somewhere. It's not just about the destination, but really about the journey to get there. They're part of the vacation. They're things that we remember from our childhood. And so today we're going to talk about some ideas for lowering parental stress during those trips, those road trips, but also making it super fun for kids so that these are memories that they look back on as adults. So if you haven't been on one of my webinars, my name is Lauren. I am the Family Support Specialist with Child Care Answers. So my name and email is up on the screen, but I'll put this slide up at the end as well. Feel free to reach out. All of the support that I offer is free. So I'm here and accessible to you as much as you need from me. So my role is to help families in Central Indiana navigate the childcare system, the school system, but also parenting in general. So I can provide free one-on-one parenting consultations, connect with you, send you resources, answer your questions, and really provide the level of support that you need as you navigate parenting. Child Care Answers is very active on social media. Today's workshop is being recorded, as well as all of our workshops get recorded and placed on YouTube. So we have a giant bank of resources on there to view. We also have a very active social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where we post family resources. We do a Family Friday every Friday where we post something that's very relevant to you and your needs. And then we also share all of our events on our calendars on social media as well. So Child Care Answers is part of a network of resource and referral agencies across the entire state of Indiana. So if you are used to coming on our webinars, the colors may look a little bit different. And that is because we're really highlighting this network of agencies across the state. So if you attend a workshop with me or with someone else across the state, the content and the look will all be very similar. This is really to provide a seamless experience for you, regardless of where you are in Indiana. Even if I am not your local agency, I'm here to support you. So we kind of work hand in hand with each other, and you never know that you're in the wrong spot, because there is no wrong door when it comes to our network. So today I'm going to share 8 ideas, activities, hacks to really make road trips easier, better with kids, to get them involved in the experience and excited about the journey. Because after all, iPads only go so far. And while iPads are, I feel, as a parent, essential in a car trip, they just don't entertain a child for 13+ hours. So we are planning a trip to the beach next year for spring break. And my husband is already like, oh, I cannot believe we're doing this. They're fighting with each other on a 5-minute car ride, a 20-minute car ride. I hear, are we there yet? About 15 times. And I just keep telling him, it's about the journey. It's about the experience. These are memories that will last forever. And so these are some things that I have done as a parent that I am planning on doing on our trip to the beach next spring break, and things that are really tried and true from the parent perspective. Because again, the iPad only lasts so far. So hack number 1 is to provide activity kits and lap toys for your child. So these are things that are typically small. They're in a container. They can play with them on their lap or on a lap tray. And giving them toys that they may play at home, but in different experience inside of the car. So you can think of like those knickknacks that you can get at the dollar store, crayons, stickers, kind of small notebooks and coloring pads and coloring books, soft toys, Legos, anything like that. So you can see in this picture This little kiddo, a toddler, is playing with some Legos, and they have a coloring page, and they're doing it on this tray on their lap. So you can get kind of fancy trays that are designed for the car. You can get kind of those TV dinner trays that have the compartments on the side, or you can even use a cookie sheet for this, but anywhere to really house their materials on their lap. And so a blogger, Lauren Dimmitt Waters, posted this whole article about what she does in the car with her kiddos. And one of the quotes that I loved, and something that very kind of resonated with me and resonated with this hack, is that she says that she really survives road trips with her 2 kids by giving them an art bin. And an art bin is what is pictured here. It's basically a plastic container with lots of little compartments. And she allows them to fill it up with whatever they want. And when they are filling up their own art bin or bringing in their own toys, they are more invested in them. They have some ownership of it. I picked out what's in there, so I want to play with it. And so she lets them put whatever they want in there: toys, candy, snacks, anything, so that, again, they are vested in it. So it's a great thing to have, just like little tiny bits of things. So some stickers and some crayons and some M&Ms and some Pirates booty and some Legos. You can even hot glue like the Lego sheets onto the top so that they can build on top of it. Let them decorate it with stickers in the car. Not only can it house all of the things to entertain them, but it also can be used then as the tool for them to decorate or to entertain themselves. So that is an awesome hack. Here are some other similar ways of doing the same thing. So this is kind of another art bin that is really designed for art materials. So Post-it notes, markers, stickers, clipboards, all of that kind of housed inside of there. Here's another one with Legos, how you would take just a couple of Legos, stick them in the tray so that everything that they play with is together. And then another one are letters and popsicle sticks with words on them that have magnets on the back. So it sticks on there. Again, everything is contained, and they can practice making words with the letters inside of the bin. Some other ideas are just a couple of toys. So the picture on the left are just some little animals that they got at the dollar store or the dollar spot at Target. And this little guy's playing with them on his lap on just a little tray. In the middle is the picture of the lap tray that's really designed for the car. But of course, it costs more money than just the TV tray that you get at the dollar store. So it just depends on what you want to invest in. And then the picture on the right is a little girl doing a puzzle. And the puzzle is designed so on the top of the box is where you put the puzzle together, and then it slides open, and that's where all the pieces are. Again, another opportunity to have everything in one spot, and you can rotate them out. You can have a bucket of different activities, and here's the Legos, and you play with that for 20 minutes. And here's the puzzle, you play for that for 20 minutes. Here's your art supplies, and then we just continue to rotate or share amongst multiple children. Hack number 2 is snacks, all the snacks. I loved, before road trips, of going to the grocery store with my dad and being able to pick out whatever snacks that I wanted to for that car trip. And so I always chose Clearly Canadian, Black Raspberry, it was my favorite, and Dunkaroos. And then sometimes I would get cheese balls as well. But I loved being able to pick out snacks. It just became part of the experience of going on a road trip and something that I really looked forward to. So much so that I was very nostalgic pulling pictures for this slide. And Dunkaroos are making a comeback, so that's pretty awesome. But just give your kid like $10. Go to the grocery store and let them pick out whatever they want. It's a time to let your kid go wild. Like, you get that candy, you get those cookies, you get whatever you want that you're vested in that will make this road trip exciting for you. You might think like, oh, the last thing I want to do is sugar my kid up in the car on a road trip. but it actually gets them excited. So every parent is different. We all approach parenting different. So the snacks that you give your kids, you do you. But allowing them to have ownership of them or special snacks that maybe they only get on road trips really creates this fun and novelty around that car trip. So here are some ways of storing snacks in the car, because there's some of you on here that are like, yeah, I totally give my kids food in the car, right? Like my car's disgusting. There's Cheerios and all sorts of stuff everywhere. And then there's others of you on here like kind of starting to sweat thinking about having food in your car. And you know who you are, which category you fall into. So again, you choose snacks that you're comfortable with, but snacks are essential on a road trip because you can't take a break and stop every single time your kid wants to eat. I have a 3-year-old whose middle name should have been Snacks because she wants to eat all the time. She's like queen of snacks. So she would not fly with like just stopping for lunch and stopping for dinner. So using that same art bin mentality, you can use that to separate little bits of snacks so that they're having like a handful of this and a handful of that and a handful of this and a handful of that, so that as they're getting hungry, they can open up their art bin and it has their snacks in it. In this picture, they're labeled. So the kiddos probably picked out their own snacks. They were able to kind of stuff their bin with whatever they wanted, and then they had the power to kind of eat and ration it as they needed to. A great storage option, because there's only so much you can fit in a cup holder on a car seat, is using a shower caddy that suction cups to the window. It's great for holding some of their toys, but also a cup with snacks in it as well, or using the art caddy to hold some of their snacks too. What I love about the art caddy is it usually, depending on your car seat, kind of slides over the armrest of the car seat so that it stays in one spot and can hold all of their things without it spilling all over the car. And in addition to snacks, all the snacks, turn snacking into an activity. So extend snack time into an activity as well. Giving them Fruit Loops or cereal and allowing them to sort by color or string them onto a necklace, or making kind of like a friendship mix with different cereals and crackers and things like that, and separating them by shape, so that you're kind of extending snack time into a learning opportunity. We are going to Disney in October, so this is a big year for our family, and we're flying there. And so my daughter, the queen of snacks, in the car the other day, was talking about being in an airplane because she's never been in an airplane before. And so her first question was, are there snacks in the airplane? Of course. And I said, yes, you can have a snack in the airplane. And so her follow-up question was, does everybody have snacks in the airplane? I said, yes, everyone can have a snack in the airplane. So then she asked if she could have colored cereal, which is Fruit Loops, in the airplane. And I said, sure, we can pack that. We can even bring some string and make a necklace with them. And she was like, this is the best day of my life. She was like, that sounds so fun. I'm like, all I'm doing is bringing some string and extending your snack into a learning opportunity. But she was here for it. She is excited. She will not let me forget. So it is amazing what you think is this little tiny thing. Like, yeah, you put that cereal on a string, girlfriend, and you make yourself a snack necklace. And it just turns into this half-hour, 45-minute experience where they are so engaged and they are so excited about using their snacks in a different way. So in addition to snacks, you also want to plan your pit stops in advance. So we have all stopped at the nastiest gas station to go to the bathroom. And we are like, we are never stopping here again. It's gross. Plan your stops in advance. Know roughly where you're going to stop, when you're going to stop, what you're going to stop for, so that you're not running on E or having all of your kids screaming in the background that they need to go to the bathroom. We love traveling on days other than Sundays so that we can stop at Chick-fil-A. Getting our kids out and running around, playing in the play place, which COVID has kind of put a damper on that, but I have not traveled in a while, so we're good. But being able to get your kids out and have something to eat. I love Chick-fil-A's menu because it has a lot of healthy options, and then a playground for them to run around and get their energy out helps prepare us for that next leg of the drive. You can't always leave rest stops and gas stations to chance. So know where you're going to stop to eat, where you want to stop to go to the bathroom, but also if you need to do hotel stays along your journey. So some hints or finding some interesting places to stop for breaks. So all along your route, are there historic sites or museums, charming towns, beautiful places for a picnic that you can stop? Stop at the giant ball of yarn display and run around. Stop at a natural playground or a park and run around. Have a picnic instead of stopping at a restaurant. But are there places along your journey that can be incorporated into the experience of going on a road trip? Because again, it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey as well. Plan those breaks that allow you and your kiddos to burn off some energy. Getting them out and moving when they've been cramped up in the car is the best thing that you can do. Growing up, sometimes my dad would be like, no, we're getting to our destination. It's about the destination. When we could have just taken an extra hour to stop twice to run around for 30 minutes, and it would have probably been more enjoyable on those road trips. We had our road trips that I remember, and we have our road trips that I remember. They're two very different trips. But go to playgrounds or restaurants that have play places and things like that. And then I also love to look for local eateries along my route, somewhere that I don't get to go at home. I love shopping local and eating local. So I really research my route and research those little great stops along the journey, like going to diners, drive-ins, and dives website and finding out where those local eateries are. Looking at local tourist destinations and things like that. So that can make it really fun and exciting, and again, extending the trip to be part of the journey. And then another food hack, because clearly it's about the food on a road trip. And when we have full bellies, we aren't cranky. And when our kiddos have full bellies, they take better naps in the car too. But charge up with a good breakfast. Whether you're staying in a hotel that offers a free breakfast, you're leaving early in the morning and you're having a great breakfast before, or an hour into your journey, you're going to stop and have a big breakfast. Make sure that breakfast is part of the experience. Because when you start with a really good breakfast, you can extend the amount of time that you start driving at the beginning of your journey. That first leg is always going to be the happiest and most peaceful because it's fresh. So you don't want to have to stop 20 minutes in because you're hungry or somebody has to go to the bathroom. So start with a really good breakfast. When we are stopping partway through and staying at a hotel, I always select a hotel with free breakfast, always. Not just because I love a free breakfast, but also because it gives us something more than just a granola bar to start our morning off. And then it's somewhere we don't have to stop on our way. As a kid, we always stopped at Cracker Barrel as part of our journey. And that is very nostalgic for me. It became this thing to look forward to. And in fact, until I was an adult, I did not know that Cracker Barrel had anything other than breakfast foods, because whenever we traveled, regardless of the time, we always stopped at Cracker Barrel. We always had breakfast. And that kind of takes me to hack number 5, which is to spoil your kids a little bit on a car ride. So every time we would go to Cracker Barrel, my dad would let us buy any candy that we wanted from the candy section. And if you know Cracker Barrel, you know that they have the coolest, weirdest array of candies. You can get a candy fan, you can get giant lollipops like in this picture. You can just get anything. And so that was so fun, was being able to stop for pancakes, but then to be able to pick out this really cool candy that I couldn't just get at the grocery store. So if there's a special treat your kid loves, get it for the road trip. If there is a small toy that they've been looking forward to, use that as a reward, that's something that they can earn while on the trip. But spoil them a little bit. Stop at this really fancy, cool donut shop on your way. Splurge a little on treats. Reward them with a new toy, or let them pick something out that's special to them. Because again, if they are excited about the journey, they're invested in the journey, everything's going to run smoother. They know what to expect and they look forward to those little treats. This even works with a toddler. Toddlers can get just excited about these rewards as a school ager can. Hack number 6 is to play games. So growing up, we would bring Trivial Pursuit cards. We'd play 20 questions. We would play I Spy. When my dad was pumping the gas, we would sit and play I Spy in the gas station a lot. Play lots of games. So one of the things that I love is printable things that you can give your kiddos. And so this one is what's in the truck. So you're passing trucks along your route. You're talking about, oh, there's a truck. What do you think's inside of it? And then each one of your kiddos gets to draw what they think is inside of the truck, or maybe what they would put inside of their truck if they were a truck driver. Other games can be like Road Trip Bingo, I Spy Restaurant Spy. And what's great about I Spy Restaurant Spy is that your kid doesn't need to be able to read in order to play this game. It's all about environmental print and print awareness. They recognize those pictures, and when they drive by one of those restaurants, they get to circle it. And when they get a whole line or they get it filled up, they get a special treat. For your older kiddos, you can make crossword puzzles that are specific to your trip. Do little quizzes that have to do with the little towns that you're going through, anything like that. And then turning little Altoid containers or wipes containers into small travelable games. So this is tic-tac-toe with little magnets. That's great for your kiddos 5 and older. You can play hangman. You can do lots of different games like this. Some other non-tech games that I love for road trips are playing games like 20 questions, the name game. The name game is where you have a category and you go around and you have to say something within that category. So maybe it's feelings, and I say angry, and the next person goes says sad, and the next person goes happy. And so basically you keep going around until everyone is out. If you have kiddos that are kind of on this spectrum of ages, you can create rules for different ages. So maybe my 3-year-old gets 1 miss and she can still stay in, but my 8-year-old doesn't get a miss. If he misses, then he's out of the game until the next category or game. Being able to kind of cater to the ages and abilities of everyone in the car. I Spy is also great. You can do I Spy in the car. You can do I Spy outside of the car. You can do I Spy with environmental print, like I spy a sign that is yellow. Next time you find a sign that is yellow, tell me what it is. Another great non-tech game is Story Starter. So Story Starter is where you start a game and then everyone gets to add to the story. So maybe I start with, once upon a time, we were in the car on a road trip. And then the next person gets to add to the story. And it's funny, everyone is giggling. Your story is pretty much nonsense at the end, but that is what makes it fun. And then I'm a sucker for trivia, any sort of trivia. So make up your trivia, download a trivia app, or bring like Trivial Pursuit cards with you. But I love trivia. I usually give a stack to my 8-year-old and he can ask us questions that are too hard for him. And then we ask him questions and his sister questions that are appropriate for them. And then hack number 7 is to travel during hours your kids are normally sleeping. So whether that is traveling during the night, leaving early in the morning, or traveling during nap time, you know your kids and you best. So you kind of make that choice for yourself. I know some families that swear by driving in the middle of the night, and others are like, no, I'm not trying to be tired when we get there and our kids are excited, then I'm exhausted. We travel, we leave at 5 a.m. and we travel all day. And they go back to sleep in the car and then they take their naps in the car. But traveling during times that your kids are normally sleeping is helpful because then you know that there's a nap in there, so you don't have to entertain them the entire time. And last but not least are surprise bags. So this kind of goes along the lines of spoiling your kids a little, giving them a little treat, but these are little surprises along their journey. So every little stop along the route, they get to open a surprise bag. Maybe in each city, they open a surprise bag. Maybe as you cross a state, they open a surprise bag. They can be anywhere from dollar store trinkets to coloring materials to things that they may need on the trip or at the destination. So maybe a pair of goggles and a swimsuit, or maybe an extra snack or something that is a memento from that city. Surprise bags are a great way of building excitement and bringing out something new every so often. One thing that I love putting in a surprise bag, and this may seem super silly to have in the car, but are bubbles. Bubbles actually don't make a ton of mess when you are blowing them in the car. This is something that I recommend the parent is blowing and not giving it to the kiddos because bubbles get dumped as soon as you give them to a kiddo. But blowing bubbles is a really great way of entertaining kids in the car and giving them something fun to look at and fun to watch. There's just something about bubbles that makes everybody happy. And it is my number one hack when it comes to an infant or a young toddler in the car, because there's only so much they can do. And bubbles really can turn a screaming baby into a happy baby in the car. So I hope that you loved our hacks. I know it was a lot of hard-hitting hacks real fast, but I really appreciate you all being here today. And I'll see you guys later.